Welcome to another episode of Let's Talk Southwest Florida, the podcast. We've got a special guest today, Adam Botana, our state representative, District 80, correct?
Correct, District 80.
Lee and Collier County.
Coastal.
So you're fighting for us up in the state, right?
Oh, tons of fighting.
Well,
lots of fighting. It's
a pleasure having you today.
Thanks for having me.
We've never really met, so it's the first time, and already it's a pleasure, and I'm enjoying the conversations already. So one thing I like about you too is you're a local. Mm-hmm. You're from Bonita Springs. You grew up here, so your community matters to you. Your state matters to you, but your community matters to you. There's a lot of things that matter to you, and we're going to touch on that on these questions. We're going to keep it simple, positive. We always say it's about the people and the places that make Southwest Florida so special. And you're one of them.
Well, thank you, sir. Thank you. Yeah, family's been here since the 50s. Originally, my mom's from Michigan, moved down when she was 6 months old. Dad came over from Cuba in 68 on the Freedom flights. You know, they were in Miami for a week. They're like, we're not staying here, so they came over to Naples. So some of the first Cubans in Naples back in the 60s. So, yeah, there's Naples high school sweethearts. So
that's
been
great.
Together a while.
Naples is a great school.
Oh, yeah, Naples High. That was like when it was out in the sticks. Now it's surrounded by the mall, and this is before Lee and Collier and all that. So.
And you're from Bonita, so that was kind of, that was in the middle of Naples and Fort Myers.
Well,
and there was a lot of cow fields.
Yeah, Fort Myers has always been they would say the rednecks, and Naples would always be the yuppies way back in the day. And I think it's still there. So Bonita's a nice little mix of everything.
Yeah,
so
it is.
We love them all.
I love that because I'm from Fort Myers. But I was the redneck with a polo on.
Hey, so you fit right in Bonita. That works.
That's awesome. Well, we're glad to have you here. I'm going to read a little bit on your intro. Born and raised in Bonita Springs, Adam's journey from a local kid to a leader in Tallahassee is a testament to his deep commitment to his region. In addition to serving in the Florida House, he also is vice president of Baywater
CEO
Club.
now. CEO.
That's what I asked.
So family. Dad's retired, but I got to pay for that diesel fuel in that Winnebago. So,
that's what I thought because I just asked one of your friends, Wade, and I said, Wade, I heard he's CEO.
Yeah.
He said, well, you can get that from him on the podcast.
That's why I just go buy a head boat washer. Keeps it simple.
So, president, CEO of Baywater Boat Club, where he spent years helping residents and visitors enjoy our waterways, an experience that's fueled his passion for clean water, conservation, and hurricane recovery. We've all been going through that. So we're going to dive right in. One thing I want to mention, too, you're a strong advocate of realtors, which I like because I'm a realtor. You're a strong advocate.
Do you know Lauren Mello? That's what I want to know. If you know Lauren Mello, that's what all matters. So
I know her.
Yeah, she's running for state senate down in Collier County, Pasadomo seat.
That's awesome.
And I think the realtors just actually endorsed her for that seat. So that's you want a real fighter for that, and a person that is a great friend of mine is Lauren Mello. So
well, we help people find their dreams.
Yeah.
And sell one of the most important things, assets in their life. So we're a big part of the community, and we appreciate your support. So not only the realtors, local businesses, owners, environmental initiatives working to protect what makes Southwest Florida so special. And that's why we say the people and the places that make Southwest Florida so special. So thank you. We're thrilled to have you. We're going to dive right into the questions. Because we know you're very busy, not only as an owner of a business, but our state representative. So thank you again. Adam, you grew up in Bonita Springs. What are some of your favorite memories from your childhood growing up?
Growing up in Bonita, right? So my family, we did a lot of traveling. Like I said earlier, we're in a carnival industry and stuff. But, some of my best memories was folks say, hey, we're going to take the day off of school and we're going to take the ski boat out, So they had a Mastercraft when I was a kid, and we go out to New Pass and put it in a Carl Johnson boat ramp. And just being out on the water was always fun as a kid growing up there. And then my grandfather's had that piece of property where the marina originally is since, I want to say, before I was born, so 78. 80s when he bought it. Yeah. What I used to do, it was great because I had my dad's parents that were in Golden Gate, then my mom's parents were in Bonita right there. So they had a little hobby farm in Golden Gate, and then they had a little marina. So I would just go down to the store and get like a dozen shrimp, walk back and grab every one of my grandfather's fishing poles, bait every hook, go back in and watch cartoons on Saturday morning, come back out an hour later and see what was on, So I was that kind of fisherman. I'd have like 3 broken off. I had 2 catfish and a snook. So it was a lot of fun, So that's some of the great memories of Bonita and just hanging out there at New Pass when I was a kid.
Well, like we said, Fort Myers and Naples and then Bonita in the middle, and it was mostly cow fields.
Yeah, no, when I went to
When
school.
you went down 41.
Yeah, when I went to school to Spring Creek, I mean, you could see it for the longest time. That's when Bonita Bay had just started.
Yeah.
So Bonita Bay, I remember they just putting the rocks out front for their display. Excuse me. And then you just had nothing but tomato fields.
Yeah.
And then you had the school. So I was
crazy.
not excited to see the school at all.
Grown up a lot.
Yeah.
Now, you said business started that property in mid-70s. So that means you're like in your 40s.
Yeah, 42. So I was born in 84. It's the miles, sir. It's the miles. Chicks dig the gray hair, though, so it's okay. So it's not bad.
That's awesome. Well, that's one thing I heard about you, that you're very straight shooter, to the point.
Don't got time for any
No BS. But also a really good sense of humor too. So a fun guy.
We'll see what happens.
Well, we can tell by your smile. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, Fort Myers, just like for you, I grew up here pretty much, came down here when I was 3. But those things like you talked about, going out on the boat and going up the river, not necessarily out to Timmy's Nook and things like that we had back in the day.
Yeah.
But just being out on the water. And we still get to enjoy that. And that's why we're going to talk about the water quality issue.
Yeah,
that's what's so special about our area. We talk about the beaches. We talk about all these other things. But our water.
Yeah, blue-green algae and red tide is a big issue that we deal with. And feel free to dive in any question you want.
We're going to get into that because that's a big topic. And,
Oh, yeah.
and we want to know what you think and how you feel and all that about it. Next question. How did you experience as a young adult lead you to your involvement in Baywater Boat Club? Now we know it's your family business.
We started it. I started it with my dad, my mom. My brothers was around too. So we used to travel on the road all the time. We used to be on the road 50 weeks out of the year. Where, like I said, we're in a carnival industry. So we had food concessions. We used to do 30 county fairs from Michigan to Mississippi and everything in the Midwest. Been to Ohio State Fair, Charlotte, all over the country. Then we did NASCAR. So we got into NASCAR from about 90 to 2002. So the big years. So we were all over the country with that. So we were just always, I seen the country through a window, right?
Yeah.
So we did a ton of that. Back and forth, and then we were on the road so much. We'd be in Miami at a theme park for 2 months out of the year, and then we had a mishap with one of the tracks where we had a falling out with the owner. So there was an issue there, and a snap of a finger, we lost half the races that quick. And my folks at that time, I was young, I was 17, 18. They're like, you know what? If that's that possible that you can lose that much money that quick, we got to do something different.
Yeah.
So we took a step back, and my grandfather bought that original piece of property on Bonita Beach Road. The original piece, there was about 20 slips there back in, I think, like I say, 80. And we were just hanging out. My grandfather had passed away. My grandmother was there. She was renting to Freedom Boat Club at that time. And my mom seen a rental boat go by one day. It's interesting that seeing another one go by, another one, because there used to be another little rental down the road. And she's out there exercising. And she stopped in and picked up a brochure, and she's like, well, hell, this is like $125 for a half day. Full day is $225. That'll pay for the groceries in the wintertime.
Yeah.
We'll cut back. And, so we went out and bought a couple rental boats. We just went out and bought a couple pontoons.
That's awesome.
And just opened a business. And then at this time, this is when Bonita became a city.
Yeah.
Because Bonita was small.
Yeah.
And like, we need a permit. I'm like, permits? What are you talking about? This is Bonita. So it took a little while, and we figured it out. And so we started with two boats. And that was in 2004 with the rentals. And started with 2 boats then. And we went to 16 in 6 months because every marina was selling out. So you had Back Bay, which sold. It was Gary Murphy's place. You had GNR, which sold out. You had Wiggins Pass, which sold out to Aqua. You had all these places closing. Like, we had people pounding on our door. So we had some capital. So we just went out and kept buying boats. So we went from 2 boats to 16 in like 6 months. We didn't know what we were doing. We hardly knew how to change the prop.
Yeah.
We had some idea. Like I said, as a kid, we had boats. And we just kind of got into it. And then I was like, hey, you know what? This boat club idea, we can just do it. We'll just do it better. So we opened up a boat club. So now we have over 100 slips on our marina. So we expanded. We bought the property adjacent to our marina. We have Freedom that's went to our neighbor. So we own both sides of them. So we don't have the middle there yet. Maybe one day. Real estate, you know how that goes. But it's been well. We've been really lucky. The harder you work, the luckier you get. And so now we're pushing about 70 boats, over 600 members in our boat club, and we have a small rental fleet now too.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
How's we're going to dive into the hurricane stuff, but how did the hurricane affect you?
Sucked.
Yeah.
We opened in 2004, so we had Charlie, Wilma.
Yeah.
It wasn't bad, right?
Yeah.
With 4 boats, you pull them out, you put them on the parking lot, you're good to go. We want to protect the docks. That's the main thing. So then we had a few other storms that got bigger. Okay, we start moving stuff around. So Ian, Irma came. In Irma, we pulled everything out, put it on a property right there, protect the docks. Water came up a little bit, no big deal. Like, oh, well, we don't really have storm surges in Southwest Florida. We don't have it.
Yeah.
Last time was Donna. So Ian comes, right? We get everything out. So we have 75 boats at this time. We take 25 to the dog track in Bonita away. And we had 50 at our marina there. It's like, all right, we're prepared. We're ready to go. And I was at my folks' place, and they live in Grandeza in Estero, and they left. I stayed here with the business and kind of kept an eye on it. And this wasn't that bad. Like, we drove down after, because you lost power. We lost Wink News. Like, okay, that was weird. So I'm, I'm in the car in the garage turning the radio on just to listen to see what was going on, because no satellite. Last time we had satellite with Comcast, there's nothing, right?
Yeah.
So didn't seem that bad, and so I hopped in a car and drove down after. And I got to Sea Level, which is a little restaurant right there, and the water's there, and I could see boats in the middle of the road. So pretty much the 50 we had at the marina, 35, 40 went back into the water, and then 15 went across the road, and just those boats in the middle of the beach road were ours.
Yeah.
So we got down there, that night, and I couldn't see nothing. I live right around a corner from that, and I have a 1968 stilt house, and I couldn't even get to it because of sand. Docks, restaurant, they're fryers, ovens, all they're in the middle of the road, and I've got a truck and just trying to go over. And a neighbor, like, he's out there with a gun because he's just scared because there's people, and there was people out there looting right away, which is, next day we came back and we just started pulling stuff out of the mangroves, actually when the docks floated, so we had 6 feet of water at our marina. Roughly 6 feet at the marina. The boats kind of bounced around, like on our roof at our marina. You can see dents, and that's where the boats were bouncing off, just the skags and off the props and stuff. So they all floated out. We lost about 15 that sank and went down. But we just started yanking stuff out of the mangroves as quick as we could, and we were open in a month.
That's
at
amazing.
Our marina. Yeah, we were like, we had to wave the flag. Yeah. As a state rep, and my dad and everybody just jumped in, and we just started, getting stuff done with our crew and everything. We just got it done, and we were open in a month. We're legit, our members were navigating around cars when they were going out there in a boat. We couldn't open the rental, but the club we could get the people out there.
I think you're an example of people in this community that have been here pretty much all their life. Mm-hmm. They don't sit back. No. They get out there and do.
That's when the best people come out.
Yeah, I think so too.
That's the best, when people are grabbing chainsaws to help. We had a Navy, and I was able to, the first representative, like, I had no phone. Yeah. There's nothing. I couldn't communicate hardly at all. A rep from, show's bipartisan, a friend of mine, Dan Daly's from Broward County. He's a Blue Dog Democrat. Yeah. We're pulling boats back the next day. Yeah. I'm like, who's this guy in jeans and boots? Broward Democrat, okay. There's horses over there. So he's like waving like Forrest Gump. And I was like, oh, it's Dan Daly. He's like, hey, I got a pallet of water in the back of my truck. Where do you need it? Called our, went down to the fire department. Went down to the fire department, Greg DeWitt. And he's like, hey, we'll put it, whenever we go to a call. Then he got more, and then we were able to throw them on some boats, and we took it to Sanibel and then up to Captiva because there was nothing to get out there. Pine Island. Yeah. We took a whole pallet we could throw it in one of our cats and food and drinks, and just it was nice to see. Everybody just came together, and whatever you needed, they were bringing it. So we got a whole semi-load of water and just dropped it off at the fire department.
It was an incredible time because we did a lot of that same to the islands and Pine Island and with the most recent storms too. But you just get out there and help and feed and give water and all that kind of stuff to your community back, because there's people
communication out there is people don't. The thing is, these phones are so bad because if you don't have it for one day, you freak out. Yeah. And people are like, "What's going on in Pine Island?" And I don't know. The county. There were some missteps there at the beginning. Hey, it's tough. They're a county. They're ready to run a county. But when a county gets wiped out by a category, I say 5, hurricane, and you lose water, everything gets shut down. That's a big problem. Yeah. They had a job to do, but I was, we couldn't have done it without our governor. him
Yeah.
stepping in and really Kevin Guthrie and everybody just landing like, hey, we're here to go. I mean, we've seen the Blackhawks the next day. And,
God, that was amazing.
the Chinooks out there, just dropping stuff and really.
Days and days of it.
I mean, thank God for our governor. I mean, if
Yeah.
there's not a better governor, support him 100%. I mean, after COVID, we were open to a hurricane. He built the bridge in 3 days.
Yeah.
Open Sanibel in a month.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about it. He's a reason why we are where we are in Southwest.
I think so
Florida right
too. I mean, we got a lot of great people on both sides.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully everybody works together, and that's what we try to. Hopefully everybody does.
Oh,
and
more than you know. Don't
I think
listen.
so.
Don't listen. I'll tell
I
you a
think
story
so
if you haven't
too.
got time. Some numbers, which is crazy that
Yeah.
people don't realize how bipartisan it is. But
Yeah. Next question. Living and working on the water must have given you a unique perspective. How did this environment inspire your passion for the water quality, which is a big deal, as you know, we've had over the years and years we've been going through and some tough times.
Yeah, no, we started in 2004, right, with the rentals and the boat club in 2006, and then we had a lot of issues with the first time where we had a wet, dry season, right? I mean, that's
Yeah.
when that brown water was coming in. I think that's when Captains originally started.
Yeah.
I was like, what's going on with this? We never had so much rain. The discharges from from the Caloosahatchee. We're fixing our grandfather's problems.
Yeah.
All right. I mean, that was the thing to do, was dike it and block it.
Yeah.
After the storm of the 20s, right, where it killed 1,200 people and
Yeah.
out there in Okeechobee. So there's a lot of stuff there. We're still fixing that, and we've spent billions, and we're gonna keep spending billions to get this done.
Yeah. We just opened up some of that, didn't we?
Yeah. So C-43 was a reservoir that they opened, which that helps us too, because you got to have some fresh water that mixes, with the seagrass, because it can get too much salinity. You got to have some fresh water comes off. And that's true with the spat on oysters, because oysters clean a lot of stuff too.
Yeah.
But if they got to pulse it from Okeechobee, that makes it tough. So this 6 mile by 5 mile huge reservoir, which is enormous.
Yeah.
It's going to be huge in the wintertime when we need that water. They can release it, and how do you clean water? Gravity, right? You put it
Yeah.
into a big lake, let it come down, and you skim off the top. That's how it happens.
Yeah.
The rat in Orlando really messes with us in Okeechobee. Disney and all the
All that stuff
infrastructure
just feeding down into
Okeechobee. They put the oxbows back into the Kissimmee. 200 years ago, it rained on Disney World. It'd take a week or 2 weeks for that to get Okeechobee.
Yeah.
40 years ago, it'd take you, a day.
Yeah.
It doesn't get clean now, and maybe it's 3 days, but still,
Yeah.
I mean, there's stuff there's going to be a lot, and there's going to be a lot to get fixed, and there's a lot of septic tanks. There's over 2 million septic tanks we don't even know about.
Yeah.
And hey, if you're out in the middle of a field, I don't care. I mean, that recharges our aquifer. But if you're next to a navigable channel, boat, lake,
Yeah.
that's a problem. So there's
Yeah.
some things that we really have to work on. You go up the Caloosahatchee, you see the old trailer parks where Grandpa and Grandma used to live in, and they had 2 people in there. Now you got families living in there because
Yeah.
it's expensive, right?
Yeah.
So that causes issues too. So that's there. How I got involved in politics. Rick Scott's chief of staff, right? He was our governor. His chief of staff was in our boat club and said, "Hey, you want to be appointed by the governor?" I'm like, "I'm the head boat washer. I'd love to get appointed by the governor. I can't wait to go to Rotary and be like, yo, guys, look at this." So I got appointed to the Boating Advisory Council for the state of Florida. So it works with FWC, Fish and
Yeah.
Wildlife. Went to a couple meetings, was interesting, Then what happened was water quality went bad, right?
Yeah.
So that was Rick Scott. And Rick did do a lot. I mean, he did. There's that narrative that's out there, Red Tide Rick. No. I mean, there was a lot of stuff. There was a lot of stuff from the Fed that he did. But when that switched over, we had water quality issues. Our boat shows were like, "Hey, you were appointed by Rick Scott. Why don't you go up to Tallahassee and lobby for us? It's a fly-in." And this
Yeah.
was with the boat shows in the area. I said, "Sure, never been to Tallahassee." One got me a sport coat, jeans, and flew in there. I was like, "This is fun. This will be interesting." Walked around.
In your spare time.
In my spare time, yeah. So I was like, "Yeah." Dad's like, "Do it." Okay, so I went up there and just walked around. And I was like, "This is who's elected?" Kind of blew my mind. It was
Yeah.
like, I was expecting like the peak, and no, it was more of the butt of the sword than the peak of the sword.
Yeah.
And just walked around. I was like, "Wow, this is who's there." And then plane ride home, I started looking who my state representative was because I didn't know.
Yeah.
Ray Rodriguez. Oh, he's termed out. Ooh,
Yeah.
look at that seat. I kind of looked at the area, Bonita Springs. I was like, water quality, this might work out. And that's how I started running.
And that's why the water quality pretty much. And there's other things too, but
affected
that's
my business.
Yeah.
Affects my you're taking money out of my family's mouth because
Yeah.
the water quality. This is bad. Like I went up there and walked around and was like, "You guys need to do something." And like,
Yeah.
"Well, we're doing it." And I was like, "All right, well, obviously there needs to be something more done.
Seems like it's sped up a lot more. Once we started focusing on that.
Yeah.
We had that year, I forget what it was. I don't know if it was 17 or where it was.
17, 18, that's when Governor DeSantis was first elected. I mean, he was right across at our marina.
Yeah.
Right there at FGCU's Marine Lab, Vester Stations, where he signed his first piece of legislation was right there in Bonita about water quality.
Yeah.
And before I even got involved, I was like, oh, okay. And so we started running.
I mean, it's like yesterday, but it's been a couple of years now. But it is
18
not
years,
too far.
6 years ago.
Yeah, and that's when we had the green algae and all.
Yeah, that's when it was really bad. That's when the whale sharks were dying and the turtles and the manatees and
dolphins, everything.
It was bad. I mean,
people were saying this area will never be the same.
I remember we did a guys trip. Just my dad, my brother, and I went to D.C. and we were at Washington's home. And we were there, and he said, "Where are you from?" Bonita Springs. Oh, you're apocalyptic down here. I was like, "Well, it's not that bad, but it was pretty rough for a little while." So, but that needed to move on.
Yeah, and then it kind of cleared up a little bit. I mean,
it was
not that we didn't have the releases still going on, but it wasn't as bad as
with Irma. You had 20 inches of rain.
Yeah.
You had an invest that came over, it dumped a bunch of water on us. Then you had, Irma that came through with another 20 inches. You're talking that much water. And they have to release. They got to release. They got to release it. I mean, do they choose people or animals? And at that time, they got to choose what they got to choose, and that's what happens.
Yeah.
It's full of nitrogen, it's full of phosphorus, it's full of everything, and it's blue green. Hits the salt water, dies. But there's a link there for the red tide to bloom?
Yeah.
Yeah, there is. You know, it's bad.
I remember Randy White, the book writer, all that here local. He wrote a column, and I think it was in the New York Times or the Wall Street Journal. It talked about how we've always experienced red tide.
Mm-hmm.
And it goes back,
the Spanish talked about it.
Yeah. Ponce de Leon, the sea was red, the beaches were lined with fish, all that. So we've always dealt with it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So,
I mean, it's been here a long time. I mean, as long as my parents were in high school and they would leave school, they'd go, down to Key Waden and, ski all day. I mean, there was times that you dealt with it. Yeah. And I mean, that's where it is too. And I think everybody's really hypersensitive to it too. Yeah. I mean, hey, sensation sells. Yeah. You're a positive podcast, but a lot of times people want the negativity.
Yeah, I don't want negativity in my life whatsoever.
But that's what you and me both. But in politics, again, people are like, "What is it with people?" I go, "No, it's people. It's not politics is the problem."
Yeah.
And I mean, we've dealt with it for a long time, but this was extreme, very extreme. And then with the blue-green algae, that was really bad. There were some real issues.
I was thinking before I came in here, before we met, everybody's got a passion, we hope. Mm-hmm. And you being in politics and in your business and being from here, your community and your state, all that, we can tell you have a passion for a lot of things. But, I mean, you got a lot going on.
Yeah. It's why I'm great.
Yeah. So, I mean, out of all that stuff, what do you really, are you passionate about all of it, or is there just that one specific thing, the water quality being the most passion I am?
No, I try to just bring a normal person to politics.
Yeah.
And I tell everybody when we're out there at functions and whatever, I was like, hey, if I got elected, anybody can. Yeah. It's not that hard.
You seem like a very intelligent guy.
Street smarts maybe.
I know. That's most important.
Maybe. But the thing is just getting out there and getting involved. I don't need somebody special to run for city council or HOA or whatever.
You just need a normal person. And you need people that do.
Yeah, and just do it. I mean, that's the thing, is just trying to have that relationship and build that. I mean, my passion is helping Bonita Springs, is my hometown, trying to get them back in line and back in order. I mean, we got a great council, we got a great mayor. We've always had a great council, a great area, but we're just trying to get, kind of get that there. There's a lot of stuff that's coming up. We did something this past year, which was pretty big with our delegation, is we're giving the opportunity for Lee County voters to make their decision if they want to have single member districts. Okay. County commissioners. Right now, every county commissioner in Lee County is voted to have a county-wide seat. Yeah. Which is kind of crazy, I think, Yeah.
We had Kevin Ruane in here, and we've had Cecil and all that. And
I never knew about politics, right, when I got involved. Yeah. I mean, I just, I heard there was a guy in Sanibel running, meet this person. I met Elizabeth Benequisto. She's like, well, talk to this guy. And I went to this guy. He says, well, you need to raise $100,000. Can you do that? I'm like, yeah, I think I can. Can you knock on 10,000 doors? I'm like, sure. And I did. Yeah. I started, January 1 before the election, August, I started knocking, and my dad's like, just get out there and get it done. 'Cause
Yeah.
my dad bleeds red, white, and blue, right?
Yeah.
He came from Cuba.
Yeah.
My grandfather was a political prisoner.
Yeah.
You know, so he doesn't leave the country. Like,
Yeah.
it's got a big deal for him to go to Canada.
Yeah.
So he's very patriotic. And so I started knocking on doors. Like, I knocked on 10,237 doors myself. Now, those are super Republicans.
Yeah.
So that was pretty much the whole district. I mean, I got into gated communities that nobody else ever would.
Yeah.
You know, I had my member come pick me up outside, so there was no issues because that could be a problem. And
Yeah.
he's like, all right, go. And I went out there and knocked, and I got kicked out by plenty of staff at Bonita Bay, Shadowwood, and all that. The next day, I'd always send them a box of cookies and saying, you know, hey, sorry for the inconvenience, because they're getting beat up, right?
Yeah.
You know, by their their people. And I say, hey, sorry from your next state representative. You know, my mindset was, if there was 100 doors back there, you're going to knock on those super Republicans, you're going to see about 50%.
Yeah.
And if those 50 people, you're going to piss off probably 10%. So I'll take those 45 votes all the time.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that was the thing. And what happens when you have, you know, these countywide elections is you can't get somebody that's got a door knock.
Yeah.
You just got to have Lennar behind you.
Yeah.
You just got to have the big pockets.
Yeah.
So
I've seen that.
So that's where, you know what, I think that we need to have more people a little bit more responsible to their community. Like, you need to be elected inside your district.
Yeah.
And you need to represent your district.
Yeah.
You know, because Bonita's been left behind. Estero's been left behind.
Yeah.
You know, Sanibel, Fort Myers Beach, we're like, hey, we put all this money in.
Yeah.
Need to get a couple bucks back.
Yeah.
I think that's what we have had some issues with. And, I mean, you're not going to get any city to say that, because if they do, they're going to bite the hand that feeds them.
Yeah.
Case in point, here we are. We put on the ballot, let the people decide.
So that's going to be put on the ballot.
In 26, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, there's stuff like Mike Greenwell's great. You know,
Yeah.
I like Mike. He's done a great job, and unfortunately, he's going through some stuff right now. But there's a lot of people out in Lehigh that say, you know, we're not taking care of it. And that's how Bonita feels too. You know, and I mean, there's a lot of stuff that's in there. I think we need to kind of take that nucleus of Fort Myers and kind of open it up a little bit and say, hey, you know, there's some more stuff that needs to be done here. And I think sometimes that a lot of people focus on Cape Coral because that's where all the votes are.
Yeah.
You know, we got to build a new bridge in Cape Coral. Like, well, what about Bonita?
Yeah.
You know, look at Bonita Beach Road. You guys own the county road. Well, if you want it, take it over.
And Cape Coral's got a lot of stuff going on right now.
Yeah.
With parks and all those
Well,
new
what do you think
things
that is?
coming in.
Because if you're going to run for a bigger office, where all the votes are.
Yeah.
So there's more to it.
Yeah.
So, and the thing is, there's a couple things there. So, you know, I've got a great relationship with David Mollica. He's done a great job as our new county commissioner. You know, I called him, I don't know, 2 weeks ago about a pothole down, you know, Bonita Beach Road. I'm pulling a boat on a trailer. The thing almost comes off the trailer. I'm like, David, you got to take a look. And he had somebody out there the next day. So that's all I can ask for.
Yeah.
You know, and that's good. And getting involved in politics, you got to learn the process, right?
Yeah.
You know, 2 ears, one mouth.
Yeah.
The first few years. So then
Yeah.
you got to learn, you know, that. We have term limits in Florida, which are good, but there's certain things that no. So I think this is a good step in the right direction for Lee County. You know, originally it was single member, and back in the 50s there was one drag line and one bulldozer, and there was some corruption and not good. So the state legislature said, all right, you're countywide to get rid of that. And that was back in, I think, 57. Never really gave the people a choice. So I think this puts it on the ballot, gives the people a choice. The people don't want it. They don't want it.
But now our area's changed. We've got a lot more people.
We got nearly a million. We're the largest. We're close to the largest county that has, you know, at large. And we're not talking about a hybrid. It's 5 single member districts. That's it. 5.
Yeah.
You just are voted by your people inside your district.
Yeah.
So Lehigh's not voting for Bonita Beach. Bonita's not voting for Cape Coral. You stay.
Yeah, I don't think that's right either. I mean, my personal opinion.
That's what it is right now.
You know, I like all those guys, but as far as voting for,
you lose your vote. No, you're getting diluted.
Yeah.
Your vote's going to be more important. If this guy ain't doing a job for you, or gal, they're out.
If he's doing his job,
you
have nothing to worry about.
Yeah, and like, well, you're gonna cause us to have a Democratic seat. Well, no, maybe you need to work a little harder to be a representative.
Yeah,
just an idea.
Well, appreciate your insight on that. Let's go to the next question. Mm-hmm. What advice would you give to someone wanting to get involved in supporting waterway preservation and environmental initiatives?
Getting involved in that is the first thing. Look at your yard, right?
Yeah.
Are you? We shouldn't have grass. We should be xeriscape. Like in
Yeah.
our marina, it's all rocks.
Yeah.
Look at that. I mean, I actually went out to Vegas a while ago, and they're paying people to change it from grass to rock. I mean, that's
Yeah.
tough to do here. We have a lot of Midwesterners.
Yeah.
They come from the Midwest. They all want pretty grass. I mean, that is a big thing right there. Look, like and see what you can do at your own. Start with that. And if you want to get involved, there's plenty of organizations out there. Some of them are a little different at times, but just call us up. Say, hey, what can we do? Where can we go? And what is it? And then if you want to get involved in politics, just get out there and support somebody.
Yeah.
It's not that hard.
Yeah.
Like I said, I got elected. Anybody can. You
Yeah.
just got to put in the work. But if you do see somebody that's doing a good job, support them.
Yeah.
Help them out. Do
Yeah.
what you can.
Well, as far as the water thing too, I mean, I remember I've been in the real estate now 32 years. When I first got in, it's probably late 90s, maybe mid 90s, right when I first got in. One of my clients said, Mike, you got a really serious water problem.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, really? I've never really heard. And he was like, no, you may not know it yet, but you're going to know it.
Yeah.
And actually,
We're talking about clean water. We're not talking about reservoirs or something like that.
yeah, I mean, I think it's the whole thing,
Yeah.
but also to maybe the lack of, like you're saying, xeriscape, things like that.
There's a lot of stuff that we can do better. Like
Yeah.
our drinking water comes from Green Pond in Orlando, right?
Yeah.
All the water that comes down here comes out, it gets injected. If they're trying to inject it, that's going to come out somewhere, you
Yeah.
know? So, I mean, there's a lot. I mean, you got the Big Cypress Water Basin down in Collier, which I think they need to change their lines a little bit. Because we're in South Florida Water Management District, which is ran out of, West Palm, Florida. So, we got a lot of flooding in Bonita that happens quite a bit. And Chauncey Goss is great. He does a great job. He's on the board. And I'm like, hey, I think there's some movement that needs to be moved around. Maybe expand Big Cypress Basin to encompass South Lee County, because water really doesn't know county lines.
Yeah.
The way this map is drawn, it does. Like I
does.
had to have a fight with Big Cypress Basin to move water south when we have a flood.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, we don't want it. There's got to be a solution here. We got to work together. And they did.
Yeah.
We sat down. They have an agreement. When water comes to a certain point, city and South Florida Water Management gets pumps, starts pumping it south to go out to Cocohatchee.
Yeah.
Because that comes out down there too. So maybe we need to look at adjusting some of these lines. Maybe they need to actually encompass the basin.
Yeah.
And again, too, I mean, that happened with Estero. When they built 75, the culverts weren't big enough because they didn't want the water coming through Estero.
Yeah.
Right? So then it all just empties out and ends right at the corner of Beach Road and Livingston down there. And that, that's the Impure River, which floods, so there's a lot of stuff that happens. So there's a lot of things we need to keep working on.
Yeah. Now, you said there's terms. When are you up?
Well, there's 2-year terms, right? So this is my third. So I'll be going into my fourth term. So 26. Somebody wants to run, come on. Let's go,
So you'll run again?
Yeah, I'll run one more time. So 26 to 28.
Okay, good.
That'll be it. We'll see what happens.
And then any future plans after that?
I got boats to wash, man.
I'm sure there's future plans.
There's always speculation with politics here in Florida. I mean, it's dominoes / Tetris, right?
Yeah.
What pops up and what feels. I got to feel we're going to have a few more congressional seats in the state of Florida.
Yeah.
We got something that just happened in Texas. Most likely it's going to happen here.
Yeah.
I don't think we're going to get another seat here. Then we're going to see probably in, Miami, Broward, over there, maybe another one in Orlando.
Yeah.
Something along those lines. I think that's going to happen because we did get the shaft during the last census.
Yeah.
In Florida, and I think that's going to make a big difference.
Yeah.
So, but who knows? I mean, we got Byron Donalds from our area, which is going to be amazing. He's going to be great.
He seems like a good man.
And he's going to do a good job as
I've
governor.
met him. He supports Valerie's House, the nonprofit I
Down
told
to
you about.
earth. You talk to him, it's like talking to me right here. Hey,
Yeah.
how you doing, Botana?
Yeah.
What's going on? So.
He's been closed up in D.C. a lot, too. You see him on TV all the time.
He's on Fox. He's doing a good job at it. I mean, between our governor and him, who knows what's going to happen?
Yeah.
It's crazy. I mean, I was in Iowa knocking on doors in minus 14-degree weather. I did the caucuses for our governor up there, and that was a great experience.
There's a lot of good people. I in my time of being in real estate, I've worked with some people in government in a lot of different ways. A friend of mine here locally, I don't know if you've ever met him, but he's on CNN a lot, representing, I think, more the Republican or libertarian, David Urban. I don't know if you know David.
No, I don't.
Good man.
Yeah.
Great man. Awesome, man. He's the big guy on CNN.
Okay.
Especially when they're doing the race and the election. He's on there and talking,
Okay, cool.
and he's
Yeah,
an
check it
awesome
out.
guy. But
We have a lot of people. We got Sean Hannity that lives in North Naples.
yeah,
We've got who's the guy that's on Tucker Carlson lives in Boca Grande.
yeah,
So that's my district because my district's Lee County,
yeah.
Boca Grande. So like I got Gasparilla in all the way down to Immokalee Road, coastal.
Okay.
So yeah, so
A lot of good people here.
oh yeah, it's
A lot more people involved with those kind of things than you think.
Yeah, and the thing is, people are like, "What's going to make what makes Southwest Florida so great?" And like, this is as far south as you can get while you're still in the country.
Yeah,
Because Miami's crazy.
Yeah.
and the Keys are an island. So I
Yeah.
mean, you can have a heart attack here and walk across the street to McDonald's and still be okay.
we like the growth, but we want to keep it the way it's always been.
Yeah, people don't like change. You
Yeah.
know, we really need to. You know what? I think our Byron, Congressman Donaldson said this great, right? We really need to work on roads.
Yeah,
I was on the phone earlier today with Commissioner Hammond and Commissioner Ruane. Like, we really got to work on roads.
Yeah.
I mean, we only have one north-south. Well, it's 41 and 75, but we got to work on stuff because people are not having a good time if they're spending an hour and a half, 2 hours in their car
yeah,
going from Lehigh to Naples.
yeah.
We got to work on that. I mean, that's a real big thing.
I live on Daniels, and the traffic just keeps on getting worse. And you would think that section right there, 41 in Daniels, they're going to have to put an overpass someday or something.
I mean, the overpass, when you have the flyovers, it just kills the intersection.
Yeah.
It kills it.
It
Like,
does.
dies.
And there's a lot right there.
And that's tough. You got to figure that out. So maybe I think we need to work on more out east, right? We got to put more north-south
Yeah.
out east. So that'll alleviate a lot of that, But there's some stuff that's done. I mean, you see a nice quadrant plan in Collier County, Lee County. Not really. You
Yeah.
know? So, I mean, we've talked about maybe merging the MPOs. And I threw it out there in a bill just to, I tend to kick the can and
Yeah.
see what happens. And
Good.
all of a sudden they're like, oh, I'm like, well, maybe we'll just merge you guys, and have a conversation about that. And their heads explode. And then all of a sudden we have a new road coming. Oh, look
Yeah.
at that. So, I mean, that's part of it. Sometimes I file a bill just to see what pops up. You got to do it.
You've helped the recovery across both Lee and Collier counties for past major hurricanes, and we've had our share of them. What were some of the biggest challenges, and how did you address them at the state level?
Again, when we had Ian come through, right? I mean, we were ground zero. I mean, I remember going over the bridge the day after in Fort Myers Beach. I had to talk myself over the bridge. I'm
Yeah.
the state representative. It was real bad. It was horrible. Luckily we have Kathleen Pasadena, who was Senate President, Jonathan Martin, who's our senator, and
He's a good man, isn't
he is great. And we just worked together, the whole team of Southwest Florida,
Yeah.
that whole delegation just went up there and said, hey, this is what we have. I was on the phone every day with pretty much Kevin Guthrie,
Yeah.
who was in charge of Alligator Alcatraz, but he
Yeah.
was Department of Emergency Management. He would pick up the phone like, what do you need? What's going
Yeah.
on? Again, the thing is, too, is having a normal person, not saying I'm normal, but just have somebody's like, hey, this is what we need.
Yeah.
Done.
Yeah.
You have that direct line because you might have county commissioners screaming. I remember coming into the EOC, right? And then nothing wrong with that. I mean, this is the Emergency Operations Center, and there's people eating and kicking back, and it's AC'd, and we need landing craft to get across, to Sanibel and stuff like landing craft. What are you talking about? No, just build the bridge, redo it.
Yeah.
I mean, the governor had 40 dump trucks down here the next day.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's good to have just normal people. And you say, hey, what's going on with this? Well, this is this is what's really going on. This is
Yeah.
what we need. This is what happens. So,
Yeah.
fighting for that and going up there. And we had a lot of reps who came down here just to help us out because before that, it was Mexico Beach.
Yeah.
We had a Category 5. And, I mean, Mexico Beach is like as big as half the size of Fort Myers Beach.
Yep.
But this is a densely populated. So we had the whole legislature here. People were out here driving around looking like, this is a big deal. This
Yeah.
is some serious stuff. So we went up there and we brought back the first year close to $200 million, and then we're close to $1 billion after everything over the last 5 years,
Yeah.
doing that, just getting more money and more money down here.
Yeah.
And then you had some politics with Biden, who bypassed the state and gave the money right to Lee County with Resilient Lee.
Mm-hmm.
Still a little, I think that's kind of going through the process and getting shaken out. I really wish it would have came through the state like it should be. I think leave it up to the states, make the
Yeah.
decision. Again, the county got it. They're doing their job, and they're doing a great job at it, but there's a lot of stuff that, they don't quite know. So
Yeah.
it's working out.
Yeah.
We're getting there.
That's great. Next question. How has tourism been recovering since Hurricane Ian, and what measures are being taken to support local businesses in their recovery and growth? I know tourism.
It's down right now.
It is, but our beds.
Yeah.
We've been lacking beds.
Yeah, but the thing is like, hey, we were open during COVID.
Yeah.
So we were, you can't compare. So you really got to go back to 19, 18 to really see
very
what's
much
going
so.
on. You really have to look. Like, because even we had a spike in our boat club business because nobody could buy boats, and we go out there. Everybody want to get on the water. Huge boating business, right? So, but we've had those people now. It's been 2 or 3 years. They're like, you know what? They're like the ones who went out and bought an RV or whatever. They're walking away.
Yeah.
Again, we're as far south as you can get. I mean, people are going to constantly come here. If you're worried about storms, I remember during Charlie and all that, we're like, oh, I'm not living on the water no more because storms. Well, there's 3 people behind you that will buy your house.
Yeah, very much so.
So I think it's coming. I mean, if you're going to build on the water, you got to realize, like, if you need to put it up, you need to put it up.
Yeah.
It is what it is. You want to live on the water.
With resilience in mind.
Yeah, I mean, my house is a 1968 stilt house.
Yeah.
It was 72. So it was built after Donna.
Yeah.
Okay, so there was a reason my house is on stilts. It's one of
Yeah.
those old Florida-style ones,
Yeah.
right? I mean, that water came all the way up, and I'm 10 feet off the ground. That water was in my track of my sliding glass door. Like, I'm not telling you, if it would have been a quarter inch, like if there was a wake, luckily, I'm 1 street off the beach, right? So I'm looking behind. I'll actually look at the beach, and there's some big houses. Lucky those houses were there because I didn't have any wave action.
Yeah.
Down the street, there's some vacant lots. And Buddy's had water that came up another 2 feet because it was the wave action.
So you stayed in.
So I got lucky.
You stayed during the storm.
No, I didn't stay there.
Okay.
No, get off the island. I was talking to Marty Harity.
Yeah, Marty's a great guy.
Doc Ford's awesome guy.
Yeah.
Just great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great. Why is that important to you? And what impact has the advocacy had locally?
With realtors, it's tough. Right? There's a lot of stuff that you guys go through all the time where it comes down to, flooding. I mean, that was a big thing in Bonita, and you got to sign the affidavits and you do all that.
Yeah.
But that's the difference between a good realtor and a bad realtor,
Yeah.
right? I mean, they'll just take your money and run,
Yeah.
and I try to tell people all the time, it's okay to use a cousin or an uncle or a brother or a friend, but sometimes it's better to go out there and just do some research and
Yeah.
see who you're using and
Yeah.
finding out, because there's a lot of bad deals that happen.
Oh, very much so.
And it's unfortunate. And I like helping good realtors, but there's a lot of bad ones out there too.
Yeah.
It's like politicians, right?
Just like any profession.
It's like boat business or any
Yeah.
kind of like that, marinas. Just try to do your own research and look and see what's going on. Sometimes your sister's cousin or whatever
Yeah.
is not the best.
Yeah.
But no, we like helping out the realtors. I know this is always a fight with vacation rentals.
Yeah.
It's always a big fight. In Tallahassee, it's gone back and forth for a lot
Why
of
is that a
years.
fight?
Well, I mean, it's because you're coming down to where, like, okay, what's private property rights, what's not.
Yeah.
Again, I live on the water, and I've got a couple vacation rentals on my street. And sometimes it does get annoying.
Yeah.
So I think there's got to be a nice little middle ground that you can deal with. Okay, you can put on a registry, and we've tried to make that work, and sometimes it doesn't work.
Yeah.
And it doesn't happen.
Yeah.
It gets axed. The governor's like, nope. Or the Senate president's like, nope. Or the Speaker of the House is nope. Yeah. So we're getting closer and closer. But I know in Sanibel that's always a big issue, and I know in Fort Myers Beach it can be an issue too.
Yeah.
So you got to be careful. You got to dance that overreaching. Some cities can get kind of over, so they got to come in and got to preempt them. And unfortunately sometimes that has to happen.
Yeah.
But I think at the end of the day, if you're a decent person, you can have a conversation with your city council or your county commissioners and say, hey, you need to walk that back. I mean, I was talking today with our 2 county commissioners about the parking ordinance on Boca Grande. I mean, it's a very small part of our area, but it's very influential.
Yeah.
So, I love the Gasparilla Inn, but like, what's exactly going on out there? Because I've got I've got state reps from Charlotte County calling me like, hey, my people are screaming from Placida because they can't park there.
They can't park there.
Well, let's see what it is. And, Hammond and Rowan were great. They both said, hey, it's just a first step.
Yeah.
We can always go back. And a lot of times when politics, in policy, it's, it takes a couple years to get it right.
Yeah.
We got a glitch bill. We got to fix this. We got to
Yeah.
make it just right to make it work out, because sometimes it doesn't work out. Condos. Look at you guys with, Champlain Towers.
Yeah.
I mean, you lose 99 people. That's a big deal. That gets our attention.
Yeah.
Because people don't want to pay the HOA fees. They don't want to do that. Well, we have to work on that. I spent many times in West Bay and Bonita Bay and talking to these folks, and they're like, well, it says we have to have this. I go, well, you got your report? Submit your report. Well, the county says they don't want it. Well, just submit it. You've done your job.
Yeah.
Okay. So, times laws are pliable at first. Take some time. And that's one thing that's mind-blowing to me, is where a bill starts, an idea comes out, a law applies, but then you have to put some You got to put some, got to have some time in there. It's got to go through the court system. It's got to figure out, okay, how's it interpreted?
Yeah.
Because one interpretation is one way, and you put two attorneys in a room, it's two different things.
I think we just made some changes with our condo law just recently.
Yeah, we
that
did.
Was new law was set, but then now they've looked at it and they've said, hey, we got to fix it a little bit.
So if it's like about weatherproofing, about painting.
Yeah.
Well, if you need your windows done in 10 years, that means you have to start saving that money from 10 years from now. It doesn't mean you have to have $5 million in the bank tomorrow.
Yeah.
Which a lot of our areas can just do that.
Yeah.
All right, they don't want to, but
when you have a storm like we did, or storms like we did,
but you got to,
then we got problems.
You got to start saving for that. Okay,
Yeah.
if an engineer says, hey, your windows are good for 10 years, you're going to need to replace them in 10 years. All right, well, that's going to be, in 10 years, it's going to be $10 million. All right, well, you need to start saving now to that. That's
instead of kicking the can down the road.
Well, we'll do it later. Later. No, start assessing that now.
I know what that's what we did a lot on Sanibel. Mm-hmm. And that's why we've got some condominiums in there that have had some problems.
Oh, yeah.
Some serious problems that still are not fixed. We've come back a lot, and we're going to open up a lot of beds come, 26 and the end of 25, but we've still got a lot of them.
John Lai, and I mean, we just don't have the rooms.
Yeah, John's a great guy too.
Awesome, and he says we just don't have the rooms to get the people out there. And I go out to Sanibel by boat. I just pull up on the beach there on the south side, by the lighthouse, and I love going out there. I mean, it's always a great time. Go to Captiva. And, they got it worse from the last two storms.
Yeah.
Like the Mucky Duck, I was there 2 weeks before hanging out with some friends, and now it's gone. It's going to reopen.
Yeah.
Again, do it. We're here. We're going to open it again.
Yeah.
Part of it. So hopefully it'll be another 60 years like Donna was, 60, 70 years. We're done.
We deserve it.
It needs to hit like the East Coast.
Heaven forbid it does, but we don't want it over there anymore.
Hey, a 2 or a 3 stimulates the economy. That's okay. But 4 or 5, get out of here with that.
Yeah.
I'm done.
Yeah. Most people say it's only been 3, but we've had 4.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So, good stuff. You've supported several key pieces of legislation during your time in office. Can you share one or two that you're especially proud of and why they matter for Southwest Florida?
As a legislator, there's bills that are all the time. We get 7 bills. Senators can have as many as you want. This past year, I filed 4. Sometimes it's about about stopping bad bills. It's not about putting new laws. We have a lot of laws. Sometimes we need less laws, right? As far as legislation I passed, the first year I was up there, I'm the boat guy. I know about boats. I think I know what's going on. And 10 years ago, bow riding, and I used to do it when I was a kid. I sit on the front of the pontoon, and it's extremely dangerous, right? And my grandfather was experienced, my dad's experienced, but you have a whole new environment of people out on the water that don't know about boats, and they got the kids hanging over the front, and you could just watch qualified captains, and it's pretty gory. It's pretty bad. A lot of people die. And I said, as long as the kids are inside the boat, it's great. Let's keep the arms and legs inside the boat.
Yeah.
So I passed this law. I'm going to do this law, the limb law. So I got up there the first year, never got a hearing. Never got anywhere. Well, come to find out, there was some senators that, originally had a problem because they got pulled over by an FWC officer a couple too many times, and they were at a position of strength and yanked out saying, you know what, we're repealing that, and took it out of the bill. So first year, couldn't get nothing done. I'll put it in a drawer for a while. So last year, I snuck it into a bill. Nobody ever knew about it. I just put it in there, put it through Lucy's Law, and it was in there. I put the bill. Nobody didn't say anything. I didn't even run it. Vanessa Oliver ran it, who's our new state rep up there. And it had a ton of teeth in it, and nobody even caught it. Yeah. Went through, governor signed it. I was like, well, it took me 5 years, and that was a lot of fun, but that's playing the game, right? Yeah. You got to stick it in there. Yeah. Just sit there. Don't say nothing.
That's a big deal.
Let it, that was
understand,
huge. That was huge for safety, for kids.
Safety.
And I just know it from being on the business. And now an officer sees some kid on the front of the boat, before they couldn't say nothing. Yeah. Now an officer could say, hey, sir, and most of the time, there's some overzealous FWC officers and Lee County Sheriff officers and everybody. But there's a lot of good ones out there, too. It's like, hey, you might be saving a kid's arm or a family's issue. Yeah. There's a lot of bad stories with people on boats that just don't.
No, I know some of them.
It's really bad. There's really bad stuff. And, they're there and your kid's in your arms and bleeding out.
You've been on a boat all your life. I just started 3.5 years ago, I think it was, for my first boat, and then I'm on to my second boat.
So there's this boat club. You could join Baywater.
I know.
It's a great place.
I probably should have done that. It would have been a lot cheaper.
Yeah, exactly.
But I tell you, I I fell in love with Southwest Florida all over again because of that water and being out there at Cayo Costa and all those beaches.
So yeah,
out
you're
there.
on the north side.
Yeah.
So you go from Fort Myers up.
Yes.
You go up to Boca Grande.
But I was on Estero Bay the other day, and I took a back canal through Hendry Creek all the way out to Estero Bay.
Okay, yeah.
And I said to myself, this is Florida.
Estero,
This is Florida the way it used to be, and
From-
it still is a lot on this
from
coast.
North Naples to Fort Myers Beach, like
Yeah.
you've got New Pass, Big Carlos Pass, Big Hickory, really nice.
Yeah, beautiful.
It is. I mean, we got people that come out of Naples because Naples is great.
Yeah,
Unless you got a 30-foot boat, you're getting rocked.
yeah,
So it's a lot calmer. We don't have that water depth, so you don't have those 60, 80-foot hatteresses rolling through.
Yeah.
It's much calmer, much nicer. We got 4
Gorgeous.
beaches, 15 restaurants to go to,
Yeah.
everything.
I loved it. It was fantastic. You've been involved in healthcare issues. This is a big one, I think, here in Southwest Florida, including a plan to change how Lee Health is managed by allowing more private involvement. Can you explain why this idea is important and how it could make healthcare better for people in our area?
So yeah, you're talking about Lee Health, public to private.
Yeah.
This was a big issue for our area because Lee Health was a taxable district, right? It was a district that was in there here. And what happened when Governor Scott was in office, for a new hospital to be built, you used to have called a CON, was a certificate of need. Remember back probably 10 years ago, there was always a fight in Bonita because there was no health care. Yeah. So Lee County built a hospital, but it wasn't a hospital. You couldn't be there overnight. Yeah. And then Collier built like a small little emergency room. It was a whole big fight. So what happened then is governor with the legislature got rid of certificate of need. And I've seen something coming down the road. This is going to be a problem because right now Lee Health doesn't charge taxes because they do a good job. They're one of the largest jobs providers in Lee County.
Yeah.
And what was happening is you're going to have Cleveland Clinic come in. You're going to have HCA come in. And why does Lee Health survive? Because they had that county-wide. They were pretty much the only hospital. You needed knees. You needed, stroke, whatever it was.
Yeah.
The bread and butter of hospitals. It was great. But now if you had HCA coming in, they start henpicking stuff off this. They start henpicking over here and this and that. Well, Lee Health is a safety net hospital. So no matter what, you go there, they take care of you. What would happen to the taxpayers of Lee County is they would be hit with a tax, okay? Because HCA at any time could have came in and bought Lee Health out if they wanted.
Yeah.
They got to pay $4 billion for
Yeah.
it. But if you're a business, maybe you're HCA, you come in, you let that grape die on the vine, wither, and in 10, 20 years from now, you buy it for $1 billion. But then there's a tax because if that hospital could not survive, they have the ability to charge a tax, levy a tax, and we would be paying it. So this was the opportunity. I said, all right, you give up that taxing authority. You give up, what was the other one? You give up the taxing authority, and then you give up the ability to sue, where it could only be capped out. So that was a big thing for them. And then they would be able to expand outside of Lee County because they were actually doing stuff in Babcock Ranch, but nobody was complaining because they were actually breaking the law, but they were actually giving service for Babcock Ranch out there.
Okay.
So they were actually outside of the county already.
Yeah.
So this was a big thing for them. So this gives them an opportunity to fight and be a private. So now they gave up that ability to charge a tax. They gave up, that domain. So they're out there and they're doing a great job at it.
Yeah.
So that was a big deal for our area. I think it'd take care of our taxpayers. That's not
You
an
think
extra.
people understand all that?
No, I don't think. I think when you start seeing these other like HCA's coming into Bonita now,
Yeah.
they're building a hospital there. They're building. It's more competitive,
Yeah.
So Lee Health is going to fight with their arm behind their back, pretty much, and then who's going to end up paying for it? You and I.
You and I.
Our kids.
Yeah.
Who end up paying a tax.
Yeah.
Now they don't have that ability anymore. You can sue them if they mess up. They're not just like a government entity. So
Yeah.
now they've expanded. So
Is
now,
Antonucci still?
Yep, Dr. Antonucci's
Yeah.
there. So he's still the
Nice man,
CEO.
good man.
Yeah, he does a great job. Board's done good. The board's transferred over. They're not elected anymore.
Yeah.
So now it's appointed, and that's one layer of government we can get rid of.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's good to get rid of a layer of
Yeah.
government.
Yeah. That's good
Less
stuff.
is more.
Are there any new initiatives, projects, or partnerships coming up that you're excited to share?
I think I'm excited for Governor Byron Donalds.
Yeah.
That's going to be a great partnership for our area.
Yeah.
I think that's a huge thing. We'll see what'll happen. I mean, if he's elected, who knows? There could be somebody comes out I don't see it, but who knows? I mean, the Trump endorsement's pretty strong right now.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be great for our area.
Yeah.
I think that's going to be huge. And I think we're going to, one more year under this speakership, Manny Perez has done a great job. There's been some headbutting with the governor, but, our next speaker is going to be Sam Garrison, who's a good friend of mine. Been with him from the beginning. It's going to work out well. And a lot of our delegation, Mike Gilambardo, Tiffany Esposito, Vanessa, myself, we're all well-connected. Lauren, all well-connected with him. So I think we'll be okay.
How'd you get so, involved with politics and so knowledgeable about it? I mean, I know it's years and all that.
I got to say it's a carnival business.
But you seem just...
I think it's just knowing people, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you seem like a good guy. Shake your hand as soon as you come in. I have a pretty good read on folks.
Yeah.
And it's go with that gut a lot of times. It makes a big deal.
Yeah.
It's been right 95% of the time.
Yeah.
So I think that's a huge thing. And just know your surroundings. Know where you need to be and where you're not.
Yeah.
Try to be relatable and just talk to people and just have a conversation.
Yeah.
I think a huge thing for me with politics is this going to a door and talking to somebody. Like I said, I knocked on 10,000 doors.
Yeah.
I just went there.
You'd be a great realtor.
Oh, I know. I could sell taxes too. Life insurance. I gotta do the marina stuff. So I mean, I've been the face of that too, family business. But when I knocked on the door, I was just like, "Hey, I'm Adam Botana. My family owns Baywater Boat Club.
Yeah.
I'm running for clean water. What do you want to see different from Tallahassee?"
Yeah.
And that was a conversation. And
people recognize the name though too down in Bonita area too.
Yeah, our bread and butter was Bonita Estero. I belonged to the Rotary Club. I was president. I run the Christmas boat parade.
Yeah.
So we've done a lot, and branding, right? We're all about branding.
Yeah.
We can flash it out. Again, that's carnival stuff. So we did the boat parade. We did everything. We're out there all the time trying to push stuff, and we made it work.
The boat parade. That's one of the questions here. Speak about that. What is that?
Oh, the Christmas boat parade. So I did it when I was a kid. It belonged to the chamber. Then when I was in the Noon Rotary Club, I was voluntold to be there to run it. So we did it, and then it switched over to the Morning Rotary Club. Now it's the Historical Society. My brother did it for a couple of years, but it looks like I'm coming back to do it again this year. But we'll have anywhere from 10 to 30 boats that leaves from our dock in Bonita, pretty much goes up the Imperial. It's a little bit different than Fort Myers Beach because they go in a circle. We actually go up along a lot of houses. So you got Bonita Bay. So you got New Bonita and Old Bonita, a bunch of parties along the river, turn around and come back. And
so it just floats on the water?
Yeah, just have boats decorating Christmas lights, blaring music, and
that's awesome.
Just having fun. It's a really good time because you get on the river and it's Christmas Florida style, right?
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah. So it's
when is that? When is that?
It's always the second Saturday of December.
December.
Yeah, always the second Saturday of December. So I mean, we got kind of beat up with COVID, and then with like everything with COVID. I mean, it took a lot of stuff out. Then with Hurricane Ian, it made it even worse. So we had it going last year, so it was fun to get out there last year. Sometimes it's fun just to participate.
Yeah.
But when you're running stuff, it's a lot too. So
our area, naturally, I've been saying it's been ground zero for the last 16, 18 months, I think, maybe more in real estate with everything that we've gone through with the storms and everything. But the boat market's gone through a lot too.
Oh, what?
So your business is probably doing pretty good right now because if I don't want to buy a boat.
We're in between that. I don't know where we're quite there yet. I mean, we actually do better in a down market.
Yeah.
We do better because people don't buy a boat, right?
Yeah.
They got to join the club. And then when the markets are good, they go buy their own boat.
Yeah.
I don't need a chain. But, what happened with COVID was the market was good. There was just no boats available.
Yeah.
So I think we're in between that. I think people don't know where we're at with real estate, right? I talk to people. I mean, I've got a rental house I paid off. I'm looking to build a duplex or something.
Yeah.
I'm waiting.
It's an incredible time to buy.
Yeah.
It's a great time to buy, and there's great programs out there for buyers.
Yeah.
And some incredible deals. I mean, we talked about Sanibel and Captiva. I mean, some of the percentages off. I mean, I just sold a condo that was originally it was originally listed at $1,995,000, and we reduced it down to $995,000, and we just sold it, and it's a lot lower than $995,000.
Yeah. I mean, there's
it's like, this isn't real.
Yeah.
It gets to a point that it's this isn't real.
Yeah.
This is an incredible time to take advantage of it, no matter what's going on in the market. Heaven forbid we get another storm, but it will come back in a big way.
We always do.
Yeah.
We're the first one in. Remember Obama was here with, Cape Coral?
Yeah.
And again, look at Cape Coral and Wall Street Journal again. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of vacation rentals out there.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff that's available. But, I mean, insurance is a big problem that we're dealing with in Florida.
Yeah.
And we're going to keep working on that. I mean, we gave the insurance companies plenty of lead. They need to start paying their damn.
Very much so.
I'm disgusted with insurance companies.
Yeah.
I really have a problem with them. I know we're gonna work on something. There's an idea out there called the Crane Plan. Representative Hillary Cassell's been big on that. Spencer Roach, they brought it up. It's a Crane Plan. What it is it pretty much is a co-op for wind coverage in the state of Florida. I mean,
Okay.
they do it in the Panhandle. They do it in Texas. They do it in California for some earthquakes and stuff. But we have to really look at this. I mean, I think that's something that's going to happen with our next governor.
We need the help.
Yeah, and I mean, we give everything we can. We got rid of assignment benefits.
Yeah.
That was a big thing. I remember when I was knocking on those doors in those gated communities.
Yeah.
I come to the door, people are like, I don't need a roof.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm not here to be a roofer. I'm here to be your state representative. But that was a real problem. We got rid of that.
Yeah.
But I think we took the ability away to sue insurance companies.
Yeah.
I think that was a step too far. I think we need to walk it back. We'll see what happens. Again, it takes time. It's been 1 year that we've done that. We've dealt with it. I think we'll have to walk it back, and we'll get there.
What do you think about real estate tax? The proposal of
I mean, we got rid of the business rent tax. That was huge.
Yeah.
I mean, that was a big thing that we've got rid of this past year. So that was a huge thing. I think you're talking about property tax. Property tax, I think we have to figure out a way to figure it out.
Yeah.
In Louisiana right now, they have a flat rate. I think it's like $1,000, but their sales tax is 10-12%. But hey, I mean, then tourists are paying it.
Yeah.
That's
going to be tough because like Montana, I think did that where your homesteaded people got it all, no property tax, but then the second homeowners got jumped up like 65%. We do that. That's game over.
We got
this area.
We got to figure out what the deal is, right?
Yeah.
There's got to be a way. There's got to be a balance.
Yeah.
I think we're going to have something come out this year, and regardless, you guys are voting on it.
Yeah.
It's to the people because it's on the Constitution, so
Yeah.
it has to go to the people.
We got a lot of our property owners that are complaining, especially a lot of those big estates on Captiva and Sanibel. And yeah, they have the money to afford it, but it gets to a point where they go, this doesn't make sense, especially after 4 storms and the cleanup and all that stuff that we've been going through. I'm done with Florida.
Yeah, well, there's 3 people behind them too.
Yeah.
So, I'm sorry. There's, what? Tell me that in February.
Yeah.
Go enjoy Chicago in February.
Well, I will tell you, I think I mentioned my brother's head of Lennar, Darren McMurray, his name. He told me they had a great third quarter. Mm-hmm. One of their best third quarters.
Yes.
First and second quarter weren't so good, but third quarter,
they had to
it looked
adjust.
great.
I mean, there's some stuff there, and people are coming down. I mean, there was a lot of new owners when I was walking and knocking out in East Bonita, those new communities. I'm knocking on super Republican doors. What that means is they voted in the last, 4 elections. That's at least 8 years.
Yeah.
So they're super Republicans. They're just moving here. Well, they're moving from New Jersey, New York, Chicago, Illinois. They're like, we're done. We're done with it. We've come down here. So we've gotten redder and redder, where they say, don't New York my Florida. That ain't happening. I mean, there's all Republicans down here.
People still want to be here.
Yeah. So I think regardless, people want to be in Southwest Florida.
Yeah. We just got to get past this season with the storms. And if we have one, I mean, we're always going to deal with storms here in Florida or wherever. Mm-hmm. You got weather everywhere.
Just need a couple years, calm, cool. Let's just focus on, let it hit the East Coast. Sorry to my East Coast. They send the water west, we'll send the storms east. Tired of this.
Good stuff. How can residents stay informed and engaged with ongoing legislative efforts that affect our region?
Call my office. The thing is I think you have to locally, I mean, it's just getting involved, right? Like, you reach out to my office. I'll give the number to you guys to say, hey, what's going on? Let's call me. I'd be more than happy. Come down the marina. I'm there working.
Come down the marina.
You want to come have a conversation? We'll have a conversation. But the thing is you can't believe everything you see on these things.
Yeah, very
on the
much so.
phones.
No way.
I try to read Wall Street Journal, Times. I listen to Fox News and NPR.
Yeah.
You got to come up with your own prerogative of what's going on. Because if you just want to turn on a TV and listen to what they say, go for it.
There's a lot of noise out there.
There's so much noise. I mean, it's amazing. That last election, I was in Mississippi, Jackson, right? Doing a state fair. It was November. It was October, so it was before the election. And they didn't have cable, whatever this place. They had the TV. It was BBC. So I started listening. What the hell? I'll listen to BBC. Yeah. And at BBC there, they were saying, they said Trump is leading in 5 of the 7 swing states by 1 or 2%. And I was like, what? And I looked all over Fox, NBC, CBS, ABC. Couldn't find it anywhere.
Yeah.
Couldn't find it anywhere.
Yeah.
And look why the election went the way it is.
Yeah.
So I think it turns into just noise, right?
Yeah.
It's advertising, it's clicks, it's money. So I think you need to get out there and just get read everything and come up with your own opinion on what's really going on. As far as on a state level, we're doing great here in Southwest Florida. You're Republican, you're in a very red area. It's awesome. I mean, we don't have any issues. And even if there's Democrats that want to have a conversation, let's have a conversation.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, like I told you, the first rep over here to help me was a Democrat from Broward County. I always tell everybody this. It's pretty wild. We have 120 members in our House, right? This past year, we have a supermajority. It was 86 Republicans, so 34 Democrats, right? About 2,000 bills get filed. 200 made it to the floor through 3 committees of that. So of that mix, what percentage of those bills do you think can pass completely bipartisan? Just take a guess. What percentage?
I mean,
Where everybody was voting yes on it.
30%?
80.
80%. See, I'm not.
No. But that's what everybody says. 5%,
Yeah.
10%.
Yeah.
Because if you listen to the news, that's what you would think.
Yeah.
80% of those bills all voted. So that means 86 Republicans voted yes and 34 Democrats. And you're talking far left Democrats. It jumps up to 5 no votes. It goes up to 86%.
Yeah.
So all you hear about is the 15%.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be a gun, or, don't say this, or don't say, whatever it is. So there's a lot more bipartisanship than you think. And I think that's the same in every state house, and I think it's the same in D.C. But if you listen to the news, it's not.
Yeah, there's too much noise on there. You don't know what to believe on there.
Matt Gaetz, Byron Donalds, and Jared Moskowitz. Jared's a Democrat. They're sitting there having lunch together in D.C.
Yeah.
They're all friends. I've got a lot of friends that are on the other side. I mean, there's certain things that we don't agree on.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, we all care about Floridians.
That's great. What's something about Southwest Florida or your work in the community that you wish more people knew about?
The water. Everybody comes down here for golf, right?
Yeah.
Huge golf community. It's so expensive.
Yeah.
Baywater's just a boat club. It's a cheap way.
Yeah.
But I mean, getting out on the water, like you said, 3 years ago, you fell in love with Florida again.
Southwest Florida all over again.
Just because you got out there on the water and just
never knew anything about it.
Yeah. That right there.
Yeah.
The
marine life, the dolphins, everything.
And people come from lakes up north and they come out here and they see the dolphins, they see the houses, they see the beaches. I mean, I've been to La Jolla out in California, which is like the place.
Yeah.
In San Diego or Monterey Bay. That water's cold.
Yeah.
It smells. There's seals and pigeon shit. It's not fun. I don't like it. I come down here. I went to rescue a boat. I mean, the water's crystal clear. It's
okay,
warm.
Costa. I took a bottle of water the other day, and it was pretty clear.
Oh yeah, and that's the thing when you have that. There's that real sweet spot. So it's like May, June before the rain starts.
Yeah,
and then like October. That's when it's some of the best time because the water's still warm. You get it cool.
Yeah,
and it's still that perfect time. But yeah, it's
pretty hot out there right now.
Oh yeah, it's warm, but you just got to keep moving.
Yeah, beautiful. Adam. Thank you for being here.
No problem.
That's it for the podcast.
Happy to be here.
Really a pleasure getting to know you too, and hopefully I get to know you better. But you seem like an awesome man. I hope you don't leave politics anytime soon, because I think that you're the kind of person we need up in Tallahassee and here on a local level. So, Adam Botana, thank you again for coming in, and we appreciate your time.
Thanks for having me. Looking forward to doing it again.
Thank you.